guys. Welcome back to 2G1B. Well,
The show that's whatever. Two girls, one bong, but really good job reading directly off the teleprompter, girl. The show that's better when you're stoned, but I will just kiss you gently on the forehead if you're not. My name is MacDizzle.
I'm Joya. You might recognize us from your favorite viral video, or you might have been watching our content for the last 8 years. Jesus.
Geez, that's a long time,
It
right?
is.
If you are new, welcome. We are the original Two Girls. You might see some Two Girls, One Blank popping up all over the place. Let's be clear. There was Two Girls, One Cup, and then there was Two Girls, One Bong. In that order. Chicken, egg. Hello. Anyways, we've been making content together for almost a decade.
And we are so excited to have you here listening with us. Let's
dive
dive on in.
All right. Yo, once we do that intro a couple more times, it's gonna get so much smoother.
Yeah, that wasn't
Like,
that bad for a first
You're
time.
not gonna say 2G1B. It's gonna be really fun.
Literally, I'm gonna put Two Girls, One Bong in my note. Just
So, for those of you who haven't caught on, I typed out an intro for us to do so that we can have like the same intro each time we start the podcast. And Joya read it verbatim as I typed it out.
I would have a great career in news.
Telenewscasting. Yes.
I was actually just watching. Have you watched Succession?
That sounds boring.
It's not. It's really good actually. And there
Is
was
it about
a part in this.
like drama and politics?
No, it's not politics. There is politics involved in it, but it's not like yeah, but it's a really good show. So it's not boring, literally. And I feel like it's like a comedy drama. And I think that the humor in it, I think
a dramedy.
You are so annoying. Every single time I try to tell you about a show, you give me 10 reasons on why it would suck. Every single time. I'm not kidding. Every time.
Funny? It's not just you though. Like, I'm just very resistant to new things. And it's like something that I would like to change about myself. So I'm working through it. I'm working through it actively.
Okay, well then let me let you know about yourself, bitch.
Keep telling me. Keep telling me.
What I was going to say is that in that show, there's this part where they, so the family does own, they do like media. And so they own like a fucking news, like a channel. And so they give this girl like a segment on the news and she sucks so bad. And they're like showing like how she's like, can't like reading off the teleprompter, but like can't keep up with it. And it's like a funny little scene. So that's what that reminded me of.
It reminds me of Drag Race when they had everyone pretend to be Rachel Maddow. And they put that little wig on him, and they all had to read off a teleprompter.
What season is that?
It's with Silky Nutmeg Ganache.
Okay. It's Silky Nutmeg Ganache as Rachel Maddow.
Yes.
That's funny.
I think that's season 10 or 11. I think it's 11. It might be 11. It's the season, the Evie one, so it's 11. It's 11.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, so
funny.
and it was really funny because they put like a lot of really weird words in there, and it's drag queens reading it. And one of them was Colonel Sanders, and someone said colonel. Colonel.
Dude, that's one of the honestly, the word colonel is one of those.
There's no reason to spell it that way.
Yeah, it's like one of those crazy words in the English language that literally makes no sense at all. Like, it makes no sense. Is there
something Latin that's like wraps it together? Like, oh, colon means armory.
I have no idea what the explanation is for why colonel is spelled / pronounced that way. Like, it's so weird.
Let's start a new movement. We're calling it colonel. We're saying things the way they're spelled. We're going to help people transitioning into the English language by just pronouncing the words the way that they're spelled. Knife, lasagna, colonel. Thank you. There's no reason to confuse these people.
What was the first one you just said? Oh, knife. Because lasagna, like, okay, fine. Like, that's like the way the Italians say it. Like, whatever. That's not an English word.
Okay, fine.
Knife, though, I'm like that, you know what? And period. Like, that's what we're just going to have to do. Gnome.
There were some people who were just like way back in the day. They're like making language and they're like, yo, Paul, what if we put a K in front of it? And they thought it was hilarious, and it wasn't. It's not funny. I don't know. It was definitely men who did it, and one of them was named Paul. Hello. I'll be right back. Gonna go grab my lip gloss.
Okay. She's, I'm gonna go grab my lip gloss. While she goes to get her lip gloss, I will go ahead and put some moisturizer on my lips because Lord knows they fucking need it.
Oh, we didn't take a bong rip.
I was literally. Oh, sorry. I
That's
just thought.
not for free.
I know. I'm sorry. If there's any people with a burping fetish on here, like, you're so welcome. Like,
You're
honestly,
so lucky, and honestly, you should stay here because you will get more free content.
honestly, what you should do is you should go watch every episode of Two Girls One Bong ever, because there's a lot, especially the ones where there was way less editing back in the day. I hope everyone is watching. If you're not watching, you're missing out on MacDizzle silently screaming at her dogs. It's my favorite thing that she does. Literally, it's my favorite. Okay, I'm smoking real weed today. Not that I don't know.
God.
I
Okay, yeah.
know.
So for those of you who don't know, Joya sometimes is a fraud, an
not a
absolute fraud, and she smokes CBD while we're recording.
I'm not a Here's the thing. Everyone knows this about me, especially if you're an avid Two Girls One Bong watcher. You know
She's a
that
low tolerance.
I disappear.
Yeah, she can't speak. She can't speak when she gets too high.
Oh
And
my
you've
God.
seen it in Two Girls One Bong videos. She'll be really animated in the beginning, and then 5 minutes into it,
And then, like, MacDizzle could say the funniest thing she's ever said, and I'm like, or I get sent into a complete laugh attack where I cannot breathe,
yeah,
cannot speak, cannot do anything. I'll say for sure, I know of one time on the podcast specifically when we did high advice, and we were taking dabs, and it was like the whole last like 10 minutes, I didn't say a word. It was all you. You put the team on your back like you always do.
You know what? And that's one thing you can always depend on. If you get too high, Mama Mac is here to carry you. Okay?
Yeah.
Don't you worry. I'll
And
always be here.
That's why it worked forever ago, because
It did.
if I had to, like, if you weren't there to pick up the slack for the team, people would have stopped watching us.
Yeah, well, because I feel like in a best friend set of stoners, like bestie stoners, there's always one who goes way harder than the other one, you know? And if not, you guys are fucking chaotic if you're both going as hard as each
my
other.
God.
You are a chaotic bunch.
And we love you for it.
Period. Cheers.
Cheers. This bong is a chugger. Definitely gonna do some more of that in a bit.
All right, well, while I gather myself, I do have a current event. This one's slightly political. Leave me alone. Not the whole episode isn't going to be politics, so don't worry. However, Trump got indicted. Tell me how you feel about that. What are you thinking?
I feel fucking excellent about that. Hang on.
I'm a little worried, okay, because his ratings are only going up amongst Republicans after this indictment. Do I want to see the man held accountable? Yes. Do I want him to become some martyr, some even more Jesus-like representation to these maniacs? No.
Yeah, I
No, I
feel
don't.
you. But I will say, just in thinking about, his ratings going up and stuff, there is two sides of the complete fucking idiocy that is the Republican
Trump
Party.
administration?
The Republican Party in general.
Mhm.
And it's DeSantis and Trump.
That's so true. That's
And so
true.
DeSantis, yeah, he's all of those horrible values that are like not even values. They're like disgusting.
He just hates women and gays.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
That's his
like,
values.
Yeah, exactly. So it's Ron DeSantis with all of those horrible values, but no stop the steal, no like, nut job crazy. Like people support Ron DeSantis and feel good about themselves because there's no like.
Well, because he doesn't have a bunch of clips of him talking about grabbing women by the pussy. Like he's been a politician, not a TV actor for most of his life. You know what I mean? So
he's more clean cut.
Exactly. His record is way cleaner.
Yeah, he has less baggage.
Exactly.
So
I can see why the Republican Party is like, yes, take away abortion rights and gay rights, and you don't loudly disrespect women in front of their face, just behind closed doors. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
We love
Yeah.
that. That's why we do it ourselves. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's like their golden boy that like hasn't made those big mistakes.
They're trying to outlaw milfopriston. I don't know, milfopristone. It's the drug for abortion.
Oh,
It's the drug that you take. It's basically the poison that you can survive, but the
baby
uterus
can't.
can't. But it's something that is used in more than just abortion drugs. Like, so somebody in Texas, or I think it was in Texas, it was like this really, really conservative judge in Texas. They took this case specifically to him because they
Mhm.
thought he would overturn. And that's the fucked up
course.
part of the legal system is that one judge shouldn't judge differently than a different judge. Like in a perfect
Yeah,
world, like they would
everybody
have.
should be everyone should have the same they're all the same rules. But
The
that's the
moral
thing about
compass should be
but that's
relatively
the
similar.
yeah, but that is the
There's a huge
uh
problem.
well, yeah, that's the because the judges interpret the law.
Mm-hmm.
The legislators make the law and then the
Judges
judges
interpret it.
interpret the law, which is like,
But
yeah,
I
you're
think
right. It
it's
should be uniform, but
for certain things it should be uniform. I think that certain things should be left up to judges. So there's certain things that like mandatory minimums that I see huge problems with. Like if you're caught doing this, it doesn't matter what the extenuating circumstances are. There's a mandatory minimum for you to go to jail for X amount of time, and that
but
is out of the
also
judge's hands.
right, but
Okay.
also mandatory minimums are fucking racist as fuck.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So there's a
So,
huge
yeah.
problem with them. That's what I'm
Right.
saying. So there
Yeah.
is a huge problem. And not only are they super racist and like prejudiced and heavily problematic for people of color, on that second note, it takes the power away from the judges. So even if the judges wanted to be more lenient to
That's
these
true,
people, they
Yeah.
literally cannot.
Yeah.
So I can see the problem with mandatory minimums and mandatory sentencings or whatever. But I also see a huge problem with being able to take a bill to one judge and have them overturn something that the FDA made. When you go to any other judge in California, they would never, ever, ever, ever do that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you should be able to shop for a judge. That worries my brain so much.
Totally. I mean, that is fucking insane. But
So
and that's one of the
basically-
major flaws in our in the whole thing, for sure. That I've never actually thought about. So thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah. So they went to that judge, right? And and he is basically saying that the FDA approved this drug wrong. They weren't supposed to do that, and they need to reverse the FDA approval.
To do that. Okay.
Well, I don't really know what the stipulation of like how they're saying it was done incorrectly, but basically some judge who isn't a scientist, has never studied this medicine, has never ran the tests, done the research or whatever, which the FDA does do, has said, no, you guys did that wrong. No. And the bigger like implications of this is if a judge is able to tell the FDA that they wrongly approved a drug, what does that mean for every single drug that the FDA has approved thus far?
Totally.
Like, I don't think people understand the statute that this has. Like, this is a big deal if they do. And Biden hasn't even come forward to be like, I'm going to recommend the Supreme Court veto it or like whatever. Like, this is probably going to go to the Supreme Court.
The fucking Supreme Court. You know what's happening on the Supreme Court? There's 5 conservative judges.
Yeah.
But there's 6 conservative judges.
Because this one isn't like, that's what the problem. There's so much science behind abortion and it's the good things it does for society that all of these judges ignored. That it makes me scared that all of this science behind this medication that is not only used for abortion, it is used for when women have miscarriages. It is used for a number of different things that are not even related to abortion.
Yeah.
Like, it really, really scares me for the girls in this country because I'm a user. That's literally the drug I used when I had my abortion. That is literally the drug I used when I had my abortion. I just cannot imagine like someone like my little sister being in the situation I was in and not having that option because somebody in Texas has an issue with it.
Yeah.
When our governor here in California that I pay a lot of money to live here for has said, no, we're going to keep abortion legal, but like it's going to be some horrific procedure now, you know?
As opposed to
it's really, really jarring and scary to think about. That's one person can turn over this whole fucking thing.
And one person whose
opinions do not represent us.
No, and also on top of that, the reason that his opinion is because of religion.
Yes.
And I'm like, I don't believe in your stupid little religion.
Like, it's what happened to separation of church and state, bro?
I feel like that literally is the base of like all of our fucking.
That is why the country was started. They were escaping religious persecution.
Yeah, totally.
So
Yeah,
very
another disappointment.
confusing. I mean, I think they really liked what England was doing. They were just like, we'll just do it ourselves, though, and we'll be on
Exactly.
top.
Yeah, they're like,
I
we
like being at the bottom of it, but the top seems pretty cool.
oh my god, I hate them.
Those are
Fuck
pretty
our
badass.
forefathers.
Fuck my forefathers.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on to something completely off topic. What do you think about Insta Verified?
Um, I was actually recommended. Somebody recommended me the other day, like doing that, like getting the
Mhm.
freaking thing, and then like using it to like bitch about my old page and like try to get my old page back. Like, look, I'm a verified human being. I'm like,
Was it the person who worked for the place, or was it just a random
Oh no, it
person
was not.
who?
No, it was another person. No, it wasn't the person who worked for the
Oh,
place. I haven't heard back from them
well.
in a couple weeks. But I mean, I don't know. Like I'm like whatever. I don't I've seen a couple people be like mean about it, and I think that's really lame
Mhm.
to make fun of somebody for like
Mhm.
honestly, when it was on Twitter, it was more annoying to me because I feel like Twitter is a source of information, but I
I
don't
get my
know.
news from Instagram though, so it's
Well, yeah.
here's I understand where you're coming from. Like it's lame to make fun of somebody for doing that, but I also think we need to look at the intentions of why they're doing it. If you're doing it
Yeah.
because you think people are going to think you're popular, no, I'm making fun of you. That's hilarious, and you're lame. If
Yeah.
you
I
bought the check
mean,
mark because you want to fool people into thinking you're a celebrity,
but you can't
that's
fool
silly.
people because they've
No,
come
no, no.
out, so it's like,
However, I will be honest with you. I have clicked on so many pages thinking a verified person was interacting with my content just to find out that it's just Joe Schmo with 400 followers.
yeah, I mean, you'll get over that.
So,
Your brain will get over that though pretty soon
yes,
since
it,
it's
it
like,
definitely will. It definitely will. I just think there's such a weird psychology behind it. I just
yeah,
think there's such a weird psychology behind it because
yeah,
it was super, super cool to have one
yeah,
a week ago, 2 weeks ago, right? Like you were
yeah.
like,
Dude,
that
okay,
meant like
wait.
you did something.
This
You know what
girl
I
that I
mean?
follow that's like kind of like a micro, she's not super, her page is probably the same size as mine. And
Mm-hmm.
she went viral, like TikTok, major on TikTok, reposted all over Instagram, like
Mm-hmm.
and actually let me just say it because I bet some of the people listening have seen this video. She made a video that was like a guy that I ghosted 2 years ago is like interviewing me for a job tomorrow. Like karma's really a bitch. Like something like that.
LOL.
And it went crazy. Like it was everywhere. It was reposted all like so many times and in like news articles and stuff, like in New York Times, like in fun stuff, whatever.
Wow. Yeah, it's like
So
really neutral content that anyone of any age could enjoy.
right,
You
exactly.
know what I mean?
Well, she went viral like that and they fucking verified her.
Verified her, yeah.
And literally like 2
Like the
days
next day.
later, yeah, and so she's been posting about it, which I kind of understand that. Like she's like, "I just got mine like for real." And like everybody else just
Yeah.
gets to have one. But I
Yeah.
also saw somebody that was like if you have less than 10,000 followers and you paid for the check mark, like I'm laughing at you. And this person only had like 11,000, maybe 11,000 and a half. And
Let's
I
stop
was like
flexing followers like this. All
I
right.
was like,
Having more
"What the
followers doesn't make
fuck?"
you it literally does not make you better than anyone. It doesn't do anything like that. Let's be very
No.
fucking clear.
Literally the only thing that it makes you better at is being able to make money through fucking sponsored posts on your Instagram. That is literally all it makes you
Literally.
better at. There's people who make
Only thing.
incredible fucking content that have no fucking followers, and there's people with
Yeah.
a shitload of followers that
Who makes
make
poo-poo
shit
content?
content. Yeah, like
Poo-poo.
so that honestly seeing like that post like made me fully like almost like get behind me guys. Like
Yeah.
shut up. Stop it. So, I mean, like,
Yeah.
but the other thing is, like, I'm not gonna do it. I was advised,
No.
like, I told you about that. So, but I was
No.
like, like, I'm not gonna do it. So that
No.
does
No,
in
I'd
my
rather lose my account again than have that check mark now. It's so weird to me. I'm like, no.
yeah,
I would
I
rather
feel you.
lose my account tomorrow than pay $14. So they sold, I think, 40
Yeah. Oh,
million.
let's look it up. Let's look it up. Let's look it up.
They think they sold 40 million in like the first
Instagram
24 hours that it launched.
revenue from Instagram revenue from check mark
Badges from badges or yeah, from
badges.
checkmark, verified badges.
Whatever the fuck, verified. Yeah. Oh my God. I saw the number, but it's not coming up.
I think it was 40 million.
Oh, it's more than that. It
No,
is.
I'm saying in the first 24 hours.
Oh, okay.
And at $15 a pop?
Yeah, Graham. Okay, make blue
Girl,
text.
they're
Okay.
smart.
No. I want you to guess again how much in the first 24 hours.
It was more? Higher or lower?
Well, your number was not the number of dollars. Your number,
Was the number of bought badges, right? 40 million
yes.
people bought the badge. I'm saying 40 million times 15.
Yeah. $660 million in the first 24 hours. More.
Lightweight.
Yeah. Oh, just a little drop in
Lightweight.
the fucking bucket.
And
Yeah.
that's every month if they keep doing it. That's monthly revenue.
$15. That's fucking insane. Twitter
I
made
mean,
it like
even if
$7 or
half the
$8 and
people,
people were like, no.
even if half the people undo it,
Yep. Still $300 million a month.
even if how much did it cost them to really make? Like they made their money back off of that
Oh my
program.
God, no. They
Obviously,
literally already, all they have to do is
they
pay
just
a
said, "Oh, it's
third-party
available."
service
Yeah.
because you have to like submit your ID, I think, right? Like it's like
Mm-hmm.
similar to what we had to do in
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
OnlyFans.
Yeah.
So they just have to pay a third-party service that will like that can verify people's IDs, which I imagine, it's probably a hefty check, but like that company is sitting real nice right now, whoever that is. But other than that, they already had the technology to implement the blue check. They already had that there. So all they have to do is pay somebody and they just unlock those little verified badges for more people.
For anyone out there who did pay for the verified badge for reasons that I didn't mention that I think are lame, if I hurt your feelings, I apologize. But like, really, like being popular to people is not important. Okay, you need to reassess your values. Okay,
But you know what? That's one of those things that's like it's easy for us to say because we have built, like a following online.
and I've also fallen the fuck off. Like I feel like I don't get a quarter of the views I used to get, and I'm still
Yeah.
fucking humble and chill and happy to be here.
Yeah, and not needing to like get verified to validate
Yeah.
your place on
And
the
so, yeah,
internet.
I'm just saying, like, I hope that's not why people did. But if you did buy a verified badge for a different reason, I would love to know why. I know Sasha bought one because she wanted to know if it would make it easier for her to like get her accounts back.
Yeah.
Having like a
I think
contact
did she
there.
cancel hers? Because I feel like I saw her on Twitter say she was going to cancel it.
I know that she initially when she first signed up, I don't know. That was maybe it was a couple. Did she just recently post about it on Twitter?
No.
Okay, so when she first signed up, she said that she was gonna have to cancel it after the first month and then do it again because she didn't like the picture that they chose
She's
for
also
it.
I remember her saying something about how they post your real name, your full name.
Yeah. Yeah.
No thanks.
Not chill.
I mean, my name is
Not
not
gonna
as
work
like
for me.
I've definitely posted it before, but like I do not need that on my Instagram. No way.
End of the day, like my last name is out there if people really, really look for it. But it's like
I think it'd be
leave
pretty
my
hard to
family
find
alone.
yours.
That's really where this comes from. Is just leave my family the fuck alone. That's why. They have important jobs and they do important things, and I just don't want my name attached to the important fun things that they do. That's all.
Yeah, totally.
That being said, yeah, I don't think I'll be buying a verified badge.
Me neither. I want to tell you a funny story after I take this bong rip.
Period. The sweet sounds of the bong.
Hopefully I can remember all the pieces. I wrote down to tell you about it 2 weeks ago. We took a couple times off of filming.
We did.
At my event that I did during South by Southwest at the pizza restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
I met this woman who she came up to me and was like, my name is blah, blah, blah. Like she knew who I was. And she said, I work at Weed Maps. She was like, I think I met you there at Weed Maps.
Were you the one who stole her ideas or not?
So I'm like, oh my God, you were in that. So MacDizzle and I had a meeting at Weed Maps, like in like
very early in our career.
Super early, like right, probably at the end of our first year, somewhere in there. It was really early. Actually, I can fucking tell you exactly when it was because when I get later in my story. So she's like, I think I've met you before. I was in a meeting with you, and I was like, were we in like a big ass corner office, like with a like multiple couches? And she's like, yeah. I was in that meeting with you. So I was telling her a funny story about that meeting, which I'm sure, I don't know if you would remember this, but so MacDizzle and I came out of that meeting thinking like, I mean, you probably had a little more skepticism than I did. Me being a small infant child of just a mere 19 years old, I was like, oh my God, my life is changed. Like,
oh no, girl. So let me pause. So basically what happened with Weed Maps is they wanted to produce a bunch of shows with us. You know, High Rise TV was doing a lot of cool stuff. We had a lot of ideas for shows,
And
and
we
we were going
had
to
a
partner with
fucking we
Weed
had
Maps.
steam. We had
Hmm.
major steam.
We were blowing up at that time, and so
Yeah.
Weed Maps was going to partner with us and help us produce this content. Right, Two Girls One Bong was going to be part of the Weed Maps hub, like all of that. And we had an initial meeting with these people, and that's where we pitched it, and we talked about everything. And they're like, "Okay, great, that's amazing." And so then they brought us up for a follow up meeting, and we figured this is where they were going to be sitting us down and being like, "Okay, so here's what's going to happen. We're doing this A, B, C, D." But I think it was a secondary pitch, and no one on our team went in there prepared to do that. No one on our team went in there prepared to repitch this
Whoa.
idea to them.
I wasn't there for that. I wasn't there for the second meeting. I think it was just
Okay.
you and
Okay.
whoever else. But that's
Yeah.
funny because I don't even remember that. I
No,
basically
the
was like,
first meeting, you felt valid to feel that way
yeah,
because they were very much like, yes, absolutely. This is sick as fuck. We're going
yeah.
to move this to the higher ups. Like,
Well,
yes.
apparently that guy who was running the meeting, like the main guy, what like she said, went around and promised so many things to so many people, and he was literally fired within a couple months of our meeting.
Wow.
So the guy who was heading the whole meeting was fired because I told her, I was like, oh my God, let me tell you something funny about that meeting. Because I walked out of there thinking my life has changed. I am going to be famous and I am
Mhm.
going to be rich. And
Mhm.
I was still in school at the time and I was taking 2 classes only. So I couldn't have been 19. I must have been 20 because I was in my second half of college.
Mhm.
I was taking 2 classes at the time and it was like nearing finals time. So we must have had that meeting in
So
like
you didn't even
November.
study. You just didn't even
I did, yeah,
study,
it
did
must have
you?
been in like late October or November because finals come around and these are not, my what do they call that? Like my GE classes. They're not my
These are
general
real
education.
classes
These are
that
core
matter.
classes. These are 2 of the like 6 to 8 courses that I have to take to get my degree specifically.
Mhm.
And like they were both like 300 level classes. And I they weren't tests, they were both papers and I just didn't write them and I didn't turn them in and I got Fs.
Well,
That
yeah.
semester. I failed. I was already like kind of like, I mean, it was like this classes were starting to get harder and like I was checked out
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I just didn't fucking do it and I got Fs that semester and I had to retake I had to retake shit
You
too.
ended up
Obviously,
retaking the classes
it wasn't the
eventually.
same classes, but I had to like make up for those credits. I ended
Oh
up
my god.
transferring. And so yeah, there was a different but yeah, that was
LOL.
because we went to that Weed Maps meeting and in my head I'm like I don't need to do this. Like I do
Yeah,
not need to do this. This is
yeah,
I'm set for life. I had one
yeah,
meeting with Weed Maps. Like
yeah.
I'm
Well,
good.
it's like so even though like I got fired, I do find it very odd that they ended up coming out with a couple of the shows that we pitched.
Who I don't remember that either. Who I do
So
remember
we
something
pitched
like
a
that.
so they you know
A
how
cooking
it was
show.
like a heavily cooking show. They came out with that. They
Mhm.
also came out with the skating show that the guys pitched.
Oh my god.
So it's
Not
just
a
like
skate show after you met with the fucking
the
stone.
skaters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
And like
so
just for context, like one of the founders of High Rise
both of
is
them
a
pro.
really?
Both of them were professional. Yes, both of them were professional.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, just for context, the founders of High Rise were both professional skaters at one point. That's
So,
crazy. I didn't know that.
yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah,
the
yeah,
other
yeah.
one was. And you
Isn't
know
that
what? That's
hilarious?
what huge companies do. They take. Well, this woman honestly was really nice. Like she was amazing and she
I
came
doubt she
straight
was the one who stole the
right,
idea.
right, right. She works on events anyway. I don't know, excuse me, what she was doing before, but she was really sweet. And so I thought that was really funny that she was literally in that meeting with us. Wow, I can't that's crazy. Oh, weed maps. That's what big companies do
Wow.
though. They
That is.
steal.
It literally is. That was my first experience at like being fucked over. And it happened so early in our
Dude,
career.
me too. And I like that was my first like time being like getting my well, you learn the lesson that you just
Getting your
don't get your
dreams
hope
crushed,
yeah,
you know
you
what I
don't
mean?
get your
Yeah.
hopes up when it comes to
No.
business.
No.
Until there is a signed piece of paper, you
And a
don't get
check
your
in
hopes
your
up.
hand
Exactly,
until you
exactly.
get that check until you deposit
Yes.
that check,
Yes, you never count on money that is not in your hand. You
you
only
yeah,
count what you have already. Like, you cannot
yeah.
count on
People
anything.
fall through
And it's for so many
constantly.
reasons, especially with, like, a giant company like that. Like, the
Mhm.
bigger the company, the harder it is to get something pushed all the way through. And it is yeah, that was so you were just as, like, excited as me. Like,
Yeah.
that
No,
was
during
like
the first
yeah.
meeting, I was, but during the second meeting after we left, like, we didn't really understand what the purpose of that meeting was. We thought we were just meeting with the higher ups to be like, "Hey, this is what we were gonna do."
Yeah.
Like, and it was a bad meeting. Like, I could feel the energy was weird. Like, they were skeptical about, like, what we were saying, like, but we didn't go in there ready to, like, we didn't go in there with the mindset of, like, "Oh, we have to pitch this."
Pitch to
And,
the
like,
higher ups, yeah.
literally, and so we didn't realize until after we had walked out. And the people who set up the meeting didn't really make that clear to us either. You
Of
know what I
course they
mean?
didn't, yeah.
But, like, obviously, it was very, very early. We didn't really know better at the time, so,
Yeah.
lesson learned, you move on. But,
Yeah. I know it's
definitely
crazy.
NDAs now,
Yeah, oh, period. Are you sure we signed
allegedly.
a piece of paper?
I'm not.
Yeah. I don't remember that, but also, there's a lot of this is what I'm talking about. Remember when
I
I
don't
said,
remember things.
"Dude,
My
like,
memory is fucked
there
up.
are
She
just
said.
things that I straight up don't remember," and it's, like, the weirdest thing because it was never my situation. I've always had a good memory and, like, not anymore.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but just to add on, just to kill a few more brain cells, I am going to a music festival this weekend, so
Period. And so she's gonna do some recreational drugs.
Nobody nobody tell. Anyway.
Everyone tell.
Oh my
She
god, wait, I
has
actually have another funny story to tell you that
love.
happened last weekend. I went to my sister's house for the weekend, and I took
Uh-huh.
Frankie with me,
Mm.
and, I, left well, all of the adults basically went out to lunch, and we were gone for, like, a few hours, and, my niece calls my sister and is like, "Somebody got into the candy, the Easter candy." And,
Frankito.
well, so my sister
Oh.
is like, "What the fuck?" It's funny because their dog's name is Jim, and she thought that my niece said James at first, which is my nephew's name. And
Mm.
so she told my niece to put him on the phone. And my niece goes, "Jim?" She's talking about the dog. Um, but anyway, the candy had, like, already been put in the eggs and stuff. So this is, like, a giant bag of filled plastic
Eggs.
eggs that got, like, chewed and, like, the stuff eaten out of them.
Plot twist, it was a dog. It wasn't a dog, it was one of the kids.
I mean, honestly,
They
like,
ate the
I
whole
I
egg
feel like that I still think somebody may have, like, seized an opportunity, like, walked
and just,
in
like,
on one of
eaten
the
a couple
dogs.
more.
Yeah. That's, like, honestly, they're sneaky like that. They say it's Jim at first, and I'm like, "Haha, stupid Jim," but he's, like, a really big boy, so he's big boy, so he'd be fine.
Mhm.
But then, like, a little later, my niece calls my sister back, and she's like, "I think it might have been Frankie."
Oh,
And I'm like, "Oh, fuck," like, like, she's, like, looking at the eggs, and there's, like, small teeth marks on them.
no.
And so I was like, "Oh my god." Like, then I start to freak out a little bit, obviously. I'm like, she cannot handle something like that the way that Jim could. Like, if either
Yeah.
of my
It's
big
just gonna
dogs
make her throw up. She'll be
yeah,
alright.
but I'm not well, so then freaking no, my niece FaceTimes me, and she's
Oh
like,
god.
I'm like, can you please, like, show me how much the candy is, like, how much candy it was?" And she flips the camera, and it is, like, the whole fucking my sister's whole closet floor is covered in eggs. I mean, not the whole closet, 'cause it's a big closet, but, like, a normal closet size area of
Definitely
open
opportunity seized.
Easter eggs. Well, they're all, like, wet. Like, most of the eggs are, like, wet. So that says dog. But, yeah, I was, like, looking at that like, "Oh my fucking god," like, if that was Frankie, like, there's no way. So when we get home, I go in there, and I actually, like, see the shit with my eyes, and it is, like, so many eggs. Like, a 100 maybe open, like, a fuck ton of these eggs. And I was looking at it like I'm like, "You know what? I was a little worried about Frankie, but there's no physical. It is physically
She couldn't even
impossible.
eat that much.
She's so small. Like, that's not possible.
She would
And
eat like
so,
3 and be like, "Oh, I'm so full."
yeah. And also, some of them were like, there was like not a lot of wrappers found. So, like, a lot of them were eaten with the wrapper on. Yeah. So, I'm like, I'll tell you right now, that was not Frankie. Like, no chance. She does not eat things that don't taste good. Like, she doesn't just eat everything. Like, if
No,
I give
she's a
her,
small dog with a tiny mouth, and she's very particular about what she
yeah,
puts
she
in
doesn't
it.
just eat anything. Like, I could give Cash pretty much anything. Same with Remy most of the time. Like, I can give them anything out of my pantry, anything out of my fridge, and they will eat it. Frankie is like, no, I don't want your potato chip.
That's hilarious
I don't want your French
because
fry.
Cheech and Mary Jane are the opposite. They are
Really?
like they are not my picky eaters. Like
Oh,
I could give
okay.
Cheech a green bean and he's stoked.
Yeah.
Stoked. I give a green bean to Indica, she'll take it like this. She'll go and then just carry it into the other room and spit it out and like
Yep.
look at it.
That's what Frankie does. That's exactly what Frankie does. So
Like,
funny.
okay.
They just have all their little freaking personalities. Like, it's so funny.
No, it's hilarious because they're all different. They will all act differently with their little treat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. That's how I also like, I was like, okay, we were gone for like a few hours. Like, there's no way. First of all of this chocolate and whatever else could not even fit in Frankie's belly. And I know what her belly feels like when it's full. Like,
Yeah,
I know
it
what it
doesn't
feels like when she just
It would
ate.
be like distended at that point. She would
No,
have a
she
huge
she would
belly.
explode. Like,
Yeah.
dude. And so, and I also like, not only could she not get this in her stomach, she literally could not eat this all fast enough. Like, for before we got back. Like, there's literally, because my sister was like, I'm not saying it's not Jim, but I'm also just saying that Jim has had lots of opportunities to do something like that and he hasn't. And I was like, well, Frankie does seize opportunities when she sees them. And we were
So maybe
repacking.
Frankie started it.
I think that maybe Frankie showed Jim and then Jim went to fucking town because we were refilling the eggs. Like, me, my brother and sister-in-law were refilling them and Frankie was kind of hovering.
She said, "Ooh,
Yeah. So I was
what
like,
you
okay,
got
you're seeming
there?"
pretty guilty right now, girl. But yeah. But then, yeah, I was like, it said that chocolate poisoning like kicks in like 6 to 12 hours from consumption, and she was all good. So
And it's a specific chemical in chocolate, and it's not as heavily prevalent in milk chocolate. It is much
yes,
more
right.
prevalent in dark chocolate.
Yes.
It's really funny. The only reason I know that is because I used to watch this show called Wilfred, which is crazy because then I met the actor Wilfred
Yeah, yeah,
in
yeah.
person, and he was super dope. I
Yeah.
think his
Did
name's
you
like
meet him in
Jason.
Vegas?
No, I met him at Hemp Fest or Hemp Con. It was one of, or it was the business one.
MJ
It wasn't
BizCon.
MJ BizCon.
Yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
it wasn't in Vegas. It wasn't in Vegas. This one was in California. It was on like NorCal, and it was like a business one though. It was like
Interesting.
business to business type stuff. Anyways, it's huge. It's huge. I
Hall
don't
of
remember what it's
Flowers.
called. Hall of Flowers.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
It's the best event. It is the best event. Hall of Flowers is the best event to go
What
to if you want my
great
opinion.
about it from your perspective?
Because everyone's really, really generous with giveaways and like interacting with each other because it's business to business. You know what I
Okay,
mean? It's
yeah.
not a ton of public people coming in looking for a bunch of free shit. It's
Yeah.
everyone's working at their booths, and mostly it's just people from booths walking around to other booths. Like there's vendors. Like it's just like it was my
That
favorite
is
event
coming.
to go to.
It's coming up in a few weeks, and I was
Yeah.
like considering
10 out of 10 best event.
Okay.
Best event.
Good to
Oh,
know.
if you're gonna do an event, do that one. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
I mean, I hope it's still good. I don't know if it's been a couple years since I went, but
Right.
the year I went, it was amazing.
I hear
loved
good
it.
things about it, and everybody's always, whenever I see content of it, I'm like, it looks really good.
No,
So
it
anyway,
was favorite.
you were talking about go back to Wilfred.
Okay, so Wilfred, dogs.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
there's a scene in one of the episodes where he tries to kill his friend who's a human. So basically the story of Wilfred is this guy kind of loses his mind and he starts talking to his neighbor's dog, and his neighbor's dog to everybody else just looks like a regular dog, but to the guy, he looks like a man dressed up in a dog suit. And he's Australian and they have conversations, and he's like, his name's Wilfred. So in this episode, Wilfred tries to poison the guy, and he gives him basically he like puts droplets of something in the guy's drink, I think, and it's the concentrated chemical that's found in dark chocolate. And he says the guy drinks it. Wilford gave it to the guy, thinking it would kill the guy. And so when the guy
Yes.
drinks it and nothing happens, he says, "What?" He like repeats
Oh
the
my
directive, and he says,
god.
"It's just so funny."
Oh, that is hilarious. Damn,
Yeah.
whoever wrote that scene is fucking funny.
Whoever wrote that show, it is very good. It
I
is a
think that
very good show. They did a very bad job wrapping it up.
oh,
They
it's
did a
over
very,
now.
very bad job. Oh, yeah, yeah. The way it ended was really, really bad. I don't
Um,
know if there was a proper
who
way to wrap it up, but it was really
right,
bad how they
who
did
has
it.
ever ended a show, like, well?
Well,
Yeah. Like, it's
I'm
so
trying to
hard.
think.
It's
I'm trying
so
to think of a
hard to
show
end a
that I know
show
that's
good.
over right now. The Office's final episode was really good.
Okay. Honestly, though, The Office is like
I stopped watching the whole season though, and I just like watched the last episode. Like
mm,
after a while, I just kind of stopped watching, but then I did watch the final episode because that's where they like show like it was a show and like they show like the people interacting with like because you know how the whole thing is shot like it's a documentary.
yeah, yeah.
The documentary comes out. You know what I mean? So it shows that
Oh,
and like yeah, so it's like
that's
interesting in that kind of
dope.
way. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
cool.
feel like they did do a pretty good job cutting that off. But with Wilfred, they just started getting really weird with it. Like he was like some ancient god or something. Like it was weird. The
Mm,
thing started getting very, very bizarre. So really, really good concept for a show. Very difficult to wrap up,
right.
but
That's funny.
great for a couple seasons. Very enjoyable.
Yeah, I met that guy in Vegas because Arend interviewed him for Watch and Sesh. Or yeah, the
No, I met
podcast.
him a couple years before. This was
Mm.
a couple years earlier, and it was at that event.
I also have this fucking random video of he had a guy there with him the day that I met him that was like similar to a bodyguard slash manager. He was like a very large man that also was like managing
Mm-hmm.
Wilfred. And I have this video because he was like working in Mike Tyson's like group, and he was like the you know when like the celebrities walk through
And
the
they're like
trade
this.
shows.
And they're like the side arm, just making sure
Well, this
nobody's.
is when they walk through the trade shows, often it's like a clear the path, clear the path.
Oh, okay.
Like, so that guy was like the clear the path, like Mike
Oh.
Tyson coming through. And it was just like a really
Oh.
funny moment. I also, at that same one, I saw like somebody
Come
walk
get
through.
her. She's dancing
Oh my God, what the fuck? What the fuck? That was your best work.
like a.
But I saw somebody walk by in a ski mask, and they were walking. It was like 5 people, and they were walking really fast. Like they were like, and
Just
then
trying to look as sketchy as possible.
yeah, well, this person has like a ski mask on, so like you cannot tell who it is.
Oh,
And then
celeb.
and then I walked down, like we walked, to another part of the trade show, like 20 minutes later, and it was Quavo.
Oh.
Poor guy, just freaking imagine. I was thinking about this the other day, actually. I was thinking about it because I'm such a Kaylani stan, but I love her so much. I was just thinking about how there was the period of time that she was dating YG, and there was like so much like public like shit happening with that relationship, and she released like multiple songs. And I was just thinking about like, imagine like going through something that was like so emotional and so gnarly, and then having to really think to yourself and be like, how can I benefit from this? Like, how can I use
Yeah.
this to my advantage professionally? And just like, that's like so gnarly.
Yeah.
I have this picture that I took of like, he's like standing on a stage, and they have just like a big picture of Takeoff in the back. And he's just standing there like with this big picture of Takeoff behind him. Like, that's just fucking so sad. Like, that's
I
horrible.
forgot that he passed recently.
Yeah.
Or was murdered.
Literally. Yeah. Robbery. He was my favorite Migo.
That's sad.
It is sad.
Did you see that video of the Dalai Lama? Everyone is a pedophile.
Literally.
What the
Literally.
fuck? If y'all don't know what we're talking about, There's a video that I feel like it went viral a while ago, or it was from a while ago, but it's going viral now, and it's of the Dalai Lama, who I'm not sure what is his religious status.
Let me see.
He's like
Well,
basically like the Pope for like Hinduism
I think
or
so. It's
Buddhism.
Buddhism. Yeah, Buddhism. Yeah.
He's like the head guy.
Why do
I'm not
men have to
sure.
listen to their? Well, does Rajwell listen to his? Oh, he always wears headphones, huh?
He's a
Adam,
headphones guy.
or he puts his turns his volume to the maximum, literally at all times. Like he just like walked by my
Yeah.
door and I can hear his phone so loud. I'm like, it's totally not necessary. The house is completely quiet. But yeah, he is the head of nonviolent opposition. What the fuck? Yeah, he's just he is the
He's a
foremost
very big.
spiritual leader.
Okay.
So
Anyway,
yeah.
so foremost spiritual leader in Buddhism. The guy, a little kid came up and asked him for a hug, and he like gave him a hug and then like kissed him on the mouth, which whatever.
He like tells
But
him
then
like kiss me on
yeah,
the
like
mouth.
kiss me on the mouth, and then he tells him to suck on his tongue, and it doesn't happen.
Thank God.
But
That poor little boy.
what a weird thing to say to a child. Like I don't know if that's a
And
normal thing in other people's cultures, but that's it to me. I don't think an appropriate thing to do to a child.
yeah,
Tongue kissing?
like what are you even
Like
talking
Tom
about?
Brady kisses his kids on the mouth, whatever. But tongue kissing? Sucking on tongues? That's a little far for me.
Yeah, I would love to know what his
Socially acceptable.
what like why did you ask that of that child? Like what was his, because I know he said that he's sorry, but
He said didn't mean it that
why?
way, and they said that he jokes a lot. That's a
Um,
weird joke. Yo, I saw this video
okay,
compilation. Go ahead.
wait, listen. The sticking out one's tongue is a sign of respect or agreement and was often used as a greeting in traditional Tibetan culture.
Okay. So he's
So,
old school,
I mean, yeah,
but did
but
they
like
ask him to suck on it
there's a
after?
reason, right? And there's a reason that that child did not do it
Yeah.
because he knew that's weird. I'm uncomfortable. Let me get out of here. So
So
it's not normalized. Like that
no.
definitely cannot be a normal thing if that child was so
Yeah,
uncomfortable.
just something bizarre that I saw.
Yeah. Fucking weird as
But
fuck.
in the spirit of people mistreating children, I saw this video compilation of Justin Bieber being completely preyed upon by older women. Like in the creepiest way. So there's like this one clip of him on a show, and the girl's like, "Would you ever do a show butt naked, like for blah 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 blah?" And he's like visibly uncomfortable, and he's like, "I have like little girl fans, like," and he's a young kid. He's like 16 at this point, like
Yeah, yeah.
young. And he's like, "I have like little girl fans," and she's like, "Well, pretend like the law doesn't exist. Pretend there are no laws." Like, and I'm just like, "The fuck?" And then there's like another one where Katy Perry like grabs his butt. There's another one where
Katy Perry's weird. Go ahead. Sorry, you can finish.
you can do your Katy Perry thing.
I
But
was
anyways,
just gonna
yeah, I'll
say,
just finish it real quick. But yeah,
okay.
there's so many clips of just prominent women who are interviewing him, talking to him, who just sexualized him
It's
from
disgusting.
so gross. Why weren't these women held accountable?
Yeah, I know. Too bad. I my only regret with cancel culture is that it doesn't go far back enough.
It doesn't go far back enough, bro. They're like, it was a different time. No, you were never allowed to be a
And
pedophile. It is
also
never okay.
women also like traditionally
Can
like
be fucking
women, yeah, and women have not had to, they're not seen as predatory. They're seen as
literally, but
prey.
that's what I
So,
was about to say. Like they can be
yeah.
fucking predators. They
Yeah.
can. They can
Oh,
be
100%.
absolute predators.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, it was gross. Ellen DeGeneres was one of them.
That's
Yeah.
disgusting. What I was gonna say is that Billie Eilish has like a documentary and we watched it, and there's this
Mhm.
part where she's at Coachella and Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom are there, and you can just tell that they're both on Molly or ecstasy or something. They're both rolling. Like you can tell.
Yeah.
Like you know how you can tell. And
Yeah.
they both are like extremely like physically affectionate with her. And it's funny as we're talking about this because in watching that, my thought is, ew, Orlando Bloom. But
Ew.
it's not Orlando Bloom and Katy Perry, like a little bit, but it's mostly, mostly I'm directing my attention at Orlando Bloom because I think he like kissed her on the head or something, which is also he's like, European, and so kissing is like not the weirdest thing. But anyway, I definitely like in hearing you talk about Katy Perry, I'm like, oh my god, there's totally a time where
predatory behavior,
weird,
like treats children inappropriately,
weird,
or very young people inappropriately. Doesn't respect personal space. And I think because she has such a name, like she probably thinks people want her to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Like, if Katy Perry grabbed my ass, would I complain about it? Me personally? No.
Might poke it out a little.
I might honestly try to go to therapy, like what's the hypnotherapy, to have it permanently burned into my mind.
Yeah, I agree. I want to keep that memory forever.
I want that to be the last thing that I think about before I pass on.
But that's just super uncomfortable to think about with Justin Bieber. Like, dude, honestly, kids in the entertainment industry, like, it's so sad. There's so many situations like that.
They are treated so. They're treated so inappropriately, and it goes across the board. Men and women do it to boys and girls.
Dude, I watched a little clip of a podcast. Do you remember Even Stevens?
Yeah.
The sister has a podcast now.
Okay.
And she had the girl that would wear the Zoe 101. Did you watch that?
Yeah.
There was a girl with the glasses that was like kind of nerdy. She was.
I feel like I kind of remember. Yes. Yeah, she was like really smart.
Her character was like, yeah, exactly. I guess
brunette.
Like, yes, brunette. She came on the podcast and told a story of how like her and Jamie Lynn Spears like did not get along. And basically she was told like, shut the fuck up. Like, it's Zoe 101, not whatever her name was, 101. Like, get over it. And she said that she's telling the story about how the talent coordinator came and got her from her trailer and told her mom, we're going to take her to hair and makeup. And instead of taking her to her hair and makeup, he dropped her off at Jamie Lynn's trailer and left her. And it's Jamie Lynn and Britney in there.
Britney
Spears.
Stop. Not Britney, a bully.
Yeah. So Britney apparently like turns all the way up on her and is like you're never gonna work in this industry again. Like, we're gonna make sure that you never get a job again. And she said that Britney Spears has personally reached out to her a long time ago and apologized. And she said that that Britney is like an amazing person and like felt so sorry for what she did. But she said that when she
feel good.
Yeah. When she said she walked into Jamie Lynn's trailer and that Jamie Lynn ran to the back of the trailer and it's just her and Britney Spears. Like, could you imagine? You're just in a room.
Britney Spears is yelling at me? The trauma?
Yeah.
I'm going to different hypnotherapy to get that memory removed.
Right. Totally. So, and she said she just like ran back to her trailer, like in tears, like telling her mom, like, they didn't take me to hair and makeup, like whatever. And the producer of the show, she said, came up to her trailer. And like, she said that he was like annoyed to be even hearing about, like he said that she said his face was kind of like a what now? Like, what did you do now kind of thing. And she said that he just came in and gave her one of those, remember those DVD players that were like laptop DVD players?
Yeah.
So she said he came in and gave her one of those and was like, relax, like, shut up, get to work, basically, like, go on about your day. And she said that there was 2 execs there with him that just happened to be there that day. So they're witnessing all of this as well. So yeah, so sad.
And she was so young.
Yeah, there's babies.
All of that as a child, bro.
So and the talent coordinator lying to her mom and saying, "I'm gonna take her to hair and makeup," and then not.
Why didn't her mom speak up? I would have.
I'm sure the mom had to have said. I mean,
what's up?
She had.
If you're gonna, here's the thing.
Yeah, I already know exactly what you're gonna say, and I guess.
You are not gonna lie to me about why you're taking my fucking child. Like, you're not gonna tell me that.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like what I thought you were gonna say was like, if you're gonna put your kid in entertainment,
oh my god, it's your job to fucking protect them.
Yes.
If you are going to be in
100%.
entertainment, they are too young to navigate that and protect
And you put
themselves.
them there.
You put them there. Whether or not they like it and they want to be there.
Yeah.
They're too young to understand the responsibility and the implications and the business relationships and how they need to be maintained. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like,
Yep. Absolutely.
oh my God, I
Yeah.
can't believe that. That's so
I
sad
know.
to hear.
Right? It is sad.
Boo to that.
I know. Big time boo.
I have one more topic that we can squeeze.
Okay.
It's probably pretty quick, but I didn't know if you knew or anything, but I saw that Ariana Grande, she came out and was like, very sincerely, I guess people have been coming at her talking about how she doesn't look healthy. I don't know if she's lost weight recently and she looks particularly thin. That's the only thing I can imagine, because she does not look overweight in any way, shape, or form, or bigger than she used to. Like, I don't know. I don't pay attention to her body like that. She just looks like Ariana Grande to me.
Yeah.
And so I guess some of her fans have been quote unquote concerned and talking a lot about it. And she posted a video. She's like, I don't usually do this, and she never does. She never comes out and like addresses.
Yeah, she does like the Beyonce thing where you just don't address it. It's like, yeah.
You literally you don't hear from her on anything.
Yeah.
And so she literally came out and was like, I think we should be like less comfortable about talking about people's bodies, regardless of if you think it's a compliment or coming out of concern or not.
Yeah.
And I just gotta say, Arenda, period.
Yeah.
Big girl's been saying this for
yeah.
100 years.
Yeah, totally. I saw a TikTok recently that was like, be careful, like when you like compliment someone's weight, because you could. Did you post
we
that?
We talked about this. No, I reposted it on my Instagram.
Yeah,
yes, but we also talked about this prior in a couple.
Yeah.
It was like a couple months ago. I think we were talking about just how I was like, when I stop receiving compliments about being thin, it is hugely detrimental to my brain, and I feel like I'm failing, and like what, because for a certain point when you start losing weight and you start getting all those compliments, it like feeds you, it drives you, you're like, oh my fucking God, yes,
I look sexy.
And then when it stops, if you gain a little weight and people stop complimenting you, like you're fully aware of it. And also what it makes you aware of is that the other person is basically saying, yes, I look at your body, yes, I've studied your body, and yes, I see that you've lost weight.
Yeah. Well,
that's
and
basically what you're confirming.
There's people who lose weight because of emotional
factors, lot of bad
other
reasons,
things.
you know, health factors.
Yeah, it said like if you compliment somebody's weight, you could be complimenting their divorce, their freaking like losing their job, like something,
you know what I mean?
You could be
an eating disorder. You could be complimenting an eating disorder.
Exactly. So let's just stop.
Let's just stop talking about people's bodies.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah.
In fucking general.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because your worth is not in that. And I'm just going to keep saying that until people start believing me.
Yeah.
Including myself, because I still suffer with feeling less worthy than others, because other people make me feel that way. But I'm trying to focus on my own feelings, because I don't feel that way. Other people make me feel that way.
Totally. It's like,
and that's unfair.
Where did I even get that from? Like, that's stupid.
Not from here.
Yeah.
It was from them. They told me that. So fuck them. All right. Well, yeah, that's all I got for you on this day.
Well, thanks so much for tuning in, guys. If you enjoyed this podcast, remember to share it with your friends.
And if you don't, I will just kiss you gently on the forehead with poison lipstick.
Okay. Stop making them good. Make them bad. And
wait, remember that? Go ahead.
We need to we're still gonna do fan questions.
Yes.
So if you're watching this video or wherever the fuck you are, comment and ask us a question, because we'll be answering questions at the end of the episodes.
If you have a question for us, and ask a messy one. Ask a messy question. That's what I want. I want you to ask like the messiest question you can find right now. That's what I want. Give it to me.
Fine. I second what she says.
All right. We'll see you guys next week. Make good choices. Be good to yourself. Be good to each other.
Bye. Love you.